Well, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are back on the campaign trail after the 4th of July holiday. And today, Clinton has a very powerful ally by her side, President Obama. And they are arriving in style for sure. The two will fly to Charlotte, North Carolina on board Air Force One for a rally this afternoon.
North Carolina is a battleground state. President Obama won there in 2008, but then narrowly lost it to Mitt Romney in 2012.
Chip Reid is at the Charlotte Convention Center, the site of today's rally. Chip, what are we expecting to hear from President Obama today?
Well, I think the main thing you're going to hear from President Obama is him kind of saying, well, you know, there was a time I was not that crazy about Hillary Clinton, but now I am. She's, as he has said before, I'm sure he's going to say again, she's the most qualified presidential candidate in modern political history because of what she's done, her time in the White House. He probably won't talk a lot about that as First Lady, but mainly her time as a U.S. Senator. He will say a very effective U.S. Senator, and her time as Secretary of State. And of course, he will say a very effective Secretary of State upon whom he relied quite a bit. So there will be a lot of praising her. And I'm guessing he's not going to be able to resist going after Donald Trump, who he seems to love trying to deflate.
President Obama and Secretary Clinton are flying on Air Force One. It costs $200,000 an hour to fly. She's splitting the cost of the flight with the president. Will that be enough to silence the critics?
Oh, I doubt it. You know, every campaign year this happens. The president uses Air Force One for political purposes, and the other side erupts. It's something that happens all the time. Now, one of the real problems here is that they say they're splitting the cost, but I suspect that she's paying a whole lot less than the $200,000 an hour that it costs to fly Air Force One. The argument from the Democrat side would be, hey, he's flying down here anyway. It doesn't cost any extra to have her on the plane. So what they're doing, the lawyers on the Clinton campaign worked out a formula to send to the FEC, and they will reimburse according to that formula. But the problem is they never give us the formula. The White House never does. Maybe the Clinton campaign does when they file their FEC documents sometime later this summer. We'll see what kind of money she paid to be on Air Force One. But I don't think the Republicans are going to stop criticizing it for 1 minute, even though it happens every campaign.
Something tells me that the discount rate is probably not that inexpensive either. But Hillary Clinton met with the FBI over the weekend. They questioned her for several hours about her private email server. What do we know about that meeting? And is there anything to make of the timing of that meeting, Chip?
Well, I think the timing is simply that the people at the FBI and the Justice Department would probably like to get this thing done. Now, the director of the FBI has said in the past he's not on a campaign schedule. He's on an investigation schedule. He's not letting the campaign influence when this happens. But I think there is kind of a feeling generally that sooner is better than later. Get it out of the way. That certainly is the case with the Hillary Clinton campaign. They are confident she's not going to be indicted, or maybe they have their fingers crossed when they say that, but they would really, really like to get this behind them as soon as possible. As for the meeting itself, we've heard very little about it. She made clear she believes it is basically the final step. She again insisted that she did nothing wrong in a statement afterward. We don't know exactly what was said in the meeting. We know there were about 8 Justice Department and FBI personnel in there working on this investigation. And it's usually a sign that it is somewhere close to the end of the investigation when they interview somebody like Hillary Clinton in an investigation like this. And of course, she is not the only person under investigation here.
All right, Chip Reid, thank you so much.
You bet.